Is your BMW's cooling system leaking, or did you have a coolant hose burst on you? Well, in today's video, I'll be showing you how to replace your upper radiator to heater core hose in minutes, all by yourself. So let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So your heater core to upper radiator hose is actually located right underneath here. One side of it attaches to the bottom of your upper radiator hose, and then it traces all the way back to the firewall of your engine bay. And so to access and remove this coolant hose, you're gonna need to remove the air snorkel, the air intake box, the cowling for your cabin air filter, everything, and that's gonna give us access to the other end of it so we can remove it. And so the first thing you're gonna go ahead and do is remove the two 10mm bolts that are holding the air intake into place. So there goes the first one. Go ahead and pull that out, and bam, now we have the second one removed. And so now you're gonna go ahead and unplug the mass airflow sensor. Simply get a flathead screwdriver and pull up on the retention tab, and then you should be able to just slide it straight out of place. And after we've unplugged the mass airflow sensor, we're gonna get a flathead screwdriver and start to loosen this band clamp that's holding the silicone air hose onto the air box itself. And now what you can do to actually give yourself some room to reach back there is remove our intake air hose. So simply remove that little band clamp off, and you can pull this thing straight out of the engine bay. And now with that band clamp loosened, we can go ahead and grab the air box and pull it straight out of our engine bay. And now you can actually see the upper radiator hose right here, and the heater hose that's supposed to attach to it has completely torn off of its connecting point. You can see right here, it's completely split down the middle. So now you can see the rest of that hose traces all the way back to the firewall. And that's basically what we're gonna be removing and replacing today. And so the only thing holding this hose into place are two of these little retention clips, one on each side. And since we're already here, we can go ahead and actually just remove this one. And so now we really just need to remove the attaching point. So just pry it out of place carefully with the flathead screwdriver. Just wiggle back and forth carefully until it removes from that upper radiator hose. And so now we can start removing our cowling. Go ahead and unplug all of the sensors connected to it, and we can simply lift off our master cylinder and ECU covers just by pulling up on these little clips. And now the entire cabin air filter cowling can be removed from your engine bay. And so now we're gonna have two coolant hoses that link to the heater core itself. What you wanna remember is the one we're removing is on the right side, not the left side. The one on the left side is going to be held in with this thick silver band clamp. That is not the one we want to touch today. We want to remove the one on the right. So we can actually start wiggling it around, and now you can see the hose that we're removing is not the one with the silver band clamp on it. It's right underneath. And so now to remove the coolant hose that we're replacing, simply grab a flathead screwdriver, and you're going to wedge it down and push that retention clip out of place. You're not going to be able to remove it the correct OEM way. You're going to have to actually get a flathead in there and completely push the retention clip off of the hose. And now what I'm going to go ahead and do is reach my entire hand back there, and with that retention clip already loosened out of place, I'm simply going to go ahead and pull that retention clip off of the hose completely. And now with that retention clip removed from the hose, you can simply reach your hand back there and wiggle back and forth until it comes completely off. And now we can see our old heater core hose is completely out of our engine bay. And you can see here, it's pretty heavily corroded. The inside of the rubber is like a brownish color. So it's definitely time to throw this thing away. And shout out to FCP Euro. Per usual, they're my go-to for any OEM factory parts. So let's go ahead and open this up. And now we can see our brand new heater core hose. And the company I opted for was Rain Automotive, because Rain Automotive makes OE factory parts for way cheaper. And you can see the part number is CHH0812. And so to make installation of our new hose way easier, you're going to simply go ahead and pull the retention clip to the unlocked position. And just to remind you, the hose is going to orient in the engine bay just like this. So you're going to have the clip facing downwards, and it's going to fit in our engine bay this exact way and then attached to that nipple. So remember, the retention clip will be facing down, and that way once it's all connected, we can simply reach our hand back there and snap it down into place. And now I can show you from a better angle. Our new heater core hose is fully flush and installed, I went ahead and already snapped down that connector. So now what you want to do is grab the hose and give it a few careful pulls, because you want to make sure this thing doesn't come out of place. And now we want to grab the other end of that hose. You're going to line up the slit and the little tab, and then from there you can simply push up into place and then push that retention clip into the locked position. And then the last final little detail is you're going to have these little hose clips attached to the chassis of the car. You want to simply feed the new hose through it. That way it doesn't rattle around and, you know, get damaged and prematurely wear out on you. And don't forget to refill your cooling system with coolant. I'll have a link down below for the bleeding process. That way you can get back on the road in no time. So now from here, we're gonna go ahead and reinstall our intake air box, the silicone hose, everything we removed. And that right there is how you install a brand new upper radiator to heater core coolant hose.